First time, like hearing this, or
Hearing the whole story.
okay, all right,
Okay, recording. Just take one.
all right. Hi, my name is Donny. 44 years old. I've been raised and brought up in New York. Pretty much 95% of my life. Currently, I'm working for an attorney's office, a county attorney's office, where I deal with no fault. Um, College graduate, went to Hofstra University, and I plan on going to law school in the next year or two.
Nice. So, when you're around like 17 or 18 years old, just describe like what an average day for you was back then. Like what were you
17,
doing?
18. Well, this is pre-accident.
Right.
So
Like where did you usually hang out? Like who did you hang out with?
I hung out with a couple of I had a whole bunch of friends. We had Indians, we had Korean, we had a whole bunch of group that we all came together because we grew up in similar backgrounds. So the beauty of that is we all became friends, and our families liked each other. And we'd work out, play football, basketball, and just train. Fight each other just because we wanted to go to the Marines and stuff. A couple of us, and pretty much hang out, smoke weed all day, and just cut class, go to Farmers Boulevard or Jamaica Avenue, pick up something for the other kids, and get some gas money out of it, and get the blaze for free, and come back to class all lit. And pretty much that's it. Hopefully not get suspended or expelled, uh, which usually worked out pretty well for us. And
You played football and basketball?
I played
Was that
football. I
for
played
high school?
football for not that long. I actually, you know what? I started playing football, but I was getting big. I was starting to meet a lot of people in different places, going to Indian parties, hooking up with girls, meeting girls I never would expect to meet uh, any other way. I was getting a little bit more popular, and just made friends that way at the time, going to parties, and a couple of my friends are DJs, so it worked out for me to help them out, and it was a great way to meet girls and drink for free, and yeah.
Nice. Explain to me who you were driving with that night when you had that accident.
When I was driving, I was in my Ford Mustang 5.0. I was with one of my best friends. I consider maybe a handful of my friends, my brothers, my best friends. Uh, but he was one of the top two, and his name is Mark. And I grew up with him. I was friends with him. Well, not really friends in the beginning, but we grew up from kindergarten onwards, and we became much closer and better friends. I would say probably 10th or 11th grade, because he was with his crew, you know, jocks, Japs at the same time, rich, preppy white kids, pretty much. That's what we called them, Japs at the time. And he started hanging out with us, and we became great friends. Our friendship became even better as time went on. Um, I guess we toughened him up in some respects because he was a little bit smaller than all of us. Um, and he was in the car with me. We were actually hanging out in Flushing at the time. Um, and then we were on the way back. We came back to my house. We washed and waxed my car. Then we went out again to go blaze with somebody. And on the way back, I guess after a couple hours on our way back, that's when I crashed my car. All I remember is his mother calling. And at that time, to have a flip phone at the time was Motorola's first flip phone. You had to have some money to have a phone like that. So I remember his mother calling and asking where I was or where we were, and we were on the way to his house. And then after that, just blacked out. And
Like,
then
what do you remember before the blackout? What's the last thing
all I
you remember?
remember was being really pissed off. Uh, I had neon lights under each side of my car and under the doors, and I had turquoise neon lights, which wasn't in New York at the time. It was only from Florida. And I remember my driver's side neon light went out, and I was really upset about it because I'm scrounging to get gas money and pay insurance, and at the same time trying to maintain my car and hook it up with whatever. And I was really upset. I didn't know what I was gonna do, and that's it. His mom called right after that, blacked out,
Hmm.
and you know, all I remember is, I thought all I remember is crying in the background, my mom crying
This is when
and
you woke up.
praying. No, no, this is when I was in a coma.
Oh,
So I was in a coma for about probably 2.5 weeks, and all I remember is the beeping, all the machines on, people coming in and out. Um, I don't know if I can see it, but I can hear it. From what I'm hearing, I can see it. You know,
you're imagining, right?
uh,
You're
I don't know if it's imagining because I remember people and their faces
like in and out. It's
in and out. Um, all I hear is my mother crying and praying, and doctors giving her news. He may or may not make it. Prepare for a funeral. If he does make it, he's going to be most probably be a vegetable for the rest of his life, and he's going to need care for the rest of his life. It looks like. Anything can happen. You know, to be optimistic, but it doesn't look too good. Um, Finally, I came to, um, but at the same time, I didn't know what was going on because I had massive head trauma. I was in a lot of pain. Um, I was pretty much drugged up, and everything was a dream, just like I was underwater. And um, I didn't know what to expect, where I was going. I didn't know if I was dead already. Hearing this, um, so all I'm wondering is, what's going on in my mind? Why am I feeling like this? Why am I in so much pain? Finally, with a lot of help from respiratory and all the doctors that were coming in and out. Um,
Well,
uh,
when you first woke up and you started like putting pieces together, like what were you experiencing that time? Was it like
oh man,
were you afraid? Were you
I I don't know. I was afraid, but sorry, I was afraid because I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know if I already died or because it was just so weird because I never experienced something like that in my life. I don't know anyone that's experienced something like that in my life, and all I know is while in a coma, I thought I was dead. Finally came to, um, and I had a tracheostomy in my throat because my ribs broke, and I had obviously problems breathing, so that's what the tracheostomy is for. And
yeah, what were you feeling when you woke up?
pain, pain. As a person that has a high pain threshold, I was in a lot of pain, and I didn't see any of this. I had a sheet over me, so I didn't know what happened. I don't know what happened to my friend. Was somebody else in the car with me? Did anybody else get hurt? I don't know, and I couldn't talk with the tracheostomy. That's when I started freaking out. I was like, "Oh my God, what the hell is going on? What happened to me?" Um, and they saw my mom saw my struggle. Um, I don't remember my father being there toward around that time. I remember him towards the end, but um, I don't know, man. I just wanted to die. I was like, I can't live like this. I didn't know until the sheets came off. That's when I freaked out, and you know, I asked about my friend. Where's Mark? Is he okay? And they couldn't tell me anything because that might put me back into a coma, the shock. So I kept on asking, and not asking, but my mom made a board, an alphabet board, and I would try to point to the letters, and my mom would have to decipher what I'm saying, which was another pain in the ass because, it's a lot very frustrating looking at each letter, like shaking yes, no, I could only barely do that, and finally my mother's like, listen, son, Mark is dead. He died. And I'm like, which car? Is it my car or your car? They're like, your car. Oh my God. So he's dead. My car is gone. I'm like this. I don't know what's going on. And then, because, at the time, I noticed all my friends would come see me. And then I'm like, where's Mark? Okay, I see everybody here, but where's Mark? That's when she told me. And that's when I started flipping out. I started crying. Um, I wasn't right after that. And, I wasn't already right to begin with. Hearing that messed me up even more. I had massive nerve trauma. I had the twitches, I had the shakes and stuff like that. And, you know, and then finally, when they showed me this is what happened to you, you lost your legs, you lost your arm. Um, that's
Did it
when I
seem
knew.
real at first?
Oh, it felt real. I mean, it was real because of the amount of pain I was in. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to explain because is it a dream? Is it a nightmare? Is this really happening to me? Um, what did I do to deserve this? I went to church. I prayed. Um, I tried to do the right thing. Again, I'm young. I'm 18. I did some stupid shit in my life. I've, punked people and stuff like that. But again, I was a good person, and for those uh, I cared about, I was there for them. And people I didn't like, I made sure they knew I didn't like them. That's the type of person I was. And it was just a shock, man. It took some time uh, for reality to set in. And when that reality set in is when, I had to figure out where to go from here. Is it worth it for me to live? Should I end it? Should I, where do I go from here? What am I going to do? Who's going to want this? Well, where can I go in life? Um, especially coming from Asiatic, Indian parents. Um, you know, my upbringing, there was a lot of culture clash, especially being first generation. And, you know, there was a lot of old world, third world thinking involved in my upbringing, which made me who I was. I was an aggressive, young, angry person full of testosterone. And now this happened. So finally, I got out of ICU, the rehab unit. I went from ICU to a rehab unit in the city, NYU, where they would hopefully teach me how to walk, uh, how to use whatever's left, um, and hopefully move on from there. So I was,
Were you right-handed or
I was
left-handed?
right-handed.
So how was that transition though?
Ugh,
You have to do everything
it sucks, man.
non-dominant.
It's hard. It's hard, but what am I gonna do? You're gonna cry about it. You have to deal with it. You have to figure it out. Um,
How long did it take before that became like a dominant hand for you? Like before you
uh,
became comfortable using it?
I mean, I adjusted pretty quickly, meaning uh, I was dealing with the card I was dealt with. Um, I had to eat. I had people to help me, but when coming out of the hospital, you're alone by yourself. That's when reality hits. You're by yourself. Yeah, there's people there to come help you and stuff, but what do you do when they're not there? What do you do when you're stuck in your mind? When you're just sitting there contemplating and thinking, like, where do I go? What do I do from here? I mean, um, do I feel bad for myself? Do I shake it off and move on? Um, how am I gonna go to? Should I go to school? Because I had no aspirations to go to school. I wanted to go to the Marines. You know, beat the shit out of people, fuck people up, come back, and maybe be a state trooper or something like that. And I had no aspirations to do anything other than that. But now
So you had to refigure
I
out
had to
your life.
refigure everything out. But at the same time, I don't know if it's a blessing in disguise because going to a rehab unit, especially a pediatric rehab unit, it puts things in perspective because here you have kids who are born with a disability and yet they can still have a smile on their face. So, why can't I do that? So maybe it was inspirational in some respect, um, but it helped me in a certain way to cope. And
Was there any child that you remember specific that like
well, yeah, I met actually a lot. I actually met a couple because I was in the pediatric unit. Even though I was 18, a lot of the kids that came were gunshot victims. I had one of my friends. He was paralyzed from the waist down from jumping into a pool and breaking his neck. I had another girl. She was in a car accident where her sister was driving illegally, I think, without a license, and they got into a car accident. She went through the back windshield, the back window, and got run over by a car, and her spinal cord was run over. So she had to have rods and stuff put on her back and keep her together. Um, so in a way, we were therapy for each other. We became friends. We helped each other snap out of it. And how do you do that? By making them laugh. You know, whether my sense of humor is warped or not, it helped. So with that being said, I feel like we were therapy for each other, and we went on with our lives. Some went to school, some had kids, some have a family. So in some respects, I think it was a blessing in disguise because once I got out of that, I guess background or setting, I came back home to my family. Um, I had to figure out where I had to go from here, what I can and can't do. It took probably 7 years or 6 years to snap out of it because I was like, my brother actually approached me, and my brother's a priest. So the funny thing is, before he went to the priesthood, he was like, "Listen, you can smoke weed, drink all you want, play video games all you want, but in the end, what are you gonna do? You had to do something. You can't just sit here. Your friends, your family, we're all progressing and moving forward with our lives. You had to do the same. Figure it out. I'm going to be here for the summer. I'm going to go take summer classes at a community college. Do you want to come with me? You could do whatever the fuck you're doing right now, but after class. So come with me. You know, I'll be there to help you take notes and whatever." And we went to my first summer class, and I never stopped after that. It was just my first teacher. It was a political science class, and it was, I told my brother, "Listen, if you're gonna go to class with me, I want to get to school early so I can go in, situate myself without people gawking at me. Let me go in, situate myself, help me set up, sit next to me, whatever." And I met the professor, and he actually was a softball coach for people with disabilities, kids with disabilities. So he was such a nice guy. He told me, "Listen, if you need any help, anything, let me know. Just don't tell anybody in class. If I give you exams or reports to take home a week ahead, don't tell anyone. I'll do the same for your brother." And it just, my first class, I got a B. Who would have thought, someone got kicked out of high school would go to college and, my first class get a B. And then not only that, I was away from school for so long and dealing with all this nonsense. I didn't know if I could do it. And my first class, it worked out. Took another semester with him, and then I didn't turn back. I didn't look back after that. And then
So you build up some momentum.
some momentum, met people. People helped me, blaze with people in class. Um, it just worked out. It was very nice. And then after that, I thought, you know what? This is not bad. I can do this. And that's when I started going back to college and finished with a couple degrees. And I want to use my life experience um, to my advantage to help others. People that were born with disabilities, people that are coming back from war with their limbs torn off, people just coming out of accidents, just trying to put things into place and perspective. I like to help people like that. And if I can, and the thing is, the beauty of my situation is I wasn't born with a disability, so I know it from both sides of the spectrum in some respect. So I think I can help
So you can
people.
relate more.
Can relate more, and I think I'll be able to shoot the shit with them a lot easier.
Put things in perspective.
Yes, and hopefully help them snap out of it quicker than I snapped out of it because time.
I'm sure you wish someone like you was in your life, like maybe right after the accident.
I do, I do, but at the same time, I was too naive, too angry to understand that.
To accept it.
But and also people coming to talk to you have two hands and two legs. So they don't understand from what I'm going through. They don't understand what I've been through growing up. Um, so now, if I meet somebody disabled coming into a different way of looking at it, it gives you a better understanding of where they're coming from and what they're trying to do for you. So I think I can help people in some respect with that.
The huge turning point was when you went to those community courses, right?
Right.
Was there anything before that that kind of gave you like a spark of like?
Uh, just going to places like weddings and stuff like that. Just seeing stuff when I did go out, because at the same time, I really didn't want to go out. I was like recluse for a couple of years. I didn't really go out. I just stayed at my place, and friends come, they hung out with me over there. Then eventually, I started going out. They started taking me out. Oh, you want to go out? Okay. Then I started getting more comfortable going out. Um, I didn't have any degenerates coming to me and asking me questions and stuff like that. But at the same time, uh, it helped me build some thicker skin, you know. But I mean, I can't even really think of anything else to add with that. But again, it was hard. It wasn't easy. It was hard. There was a lot of questions in my head, but I just went with the flow. And thankfully, I had my family and friends around me that made it a lot more comfortable and a lot more easier for me to progress. Now, you know, especially with Asian parents, comparing your disability with other disabilities or your grades with their grades, that would occur. I mean, listen, if somebody's paralyzed, they're paralyzed. I'm not paralyzed. I'm an amputee. There's a difference. You know, I can feel everything. They can't. So you have to explain this to certain people and how it is. And unfortunately, some of them are even nurses. You have to explain that to them. And then they realize it afterwards. But it was hard. It definitely wasn't easy. But again, we all got to go through shit in life. Some of us, whether it's a loss of a loved one or some bullshit that happens to you in life, in the road of life. You have to deal with it. You have to figure it out. And that's the beauty of who we are as people. Um, we can adapt in a certain way, and sometimes you're forced to adapt. And I was forced to adapt, but I think I did pretty well figuring out a lot of stuff on my own, whether it be transferring, eating, writing, and doing certain things. I figured it out, and I think school helped me also because it helped me to figure out um, how to write, how to talk, um, how to figure out problem solve in a certain way. And I think if I went right after my accident, I don't think I would have been mentally prepared. I started going to college, I think, after 25, and my mindset was a lot different. I didn't take any semesters off. I didn't do any of that. I just thought, let me do this, finish it, and see what happens afterwards, and what kind of doors open up for me. And I'm pretty happy with my progression in life, even though it could have been a lot sooner. But again, that's for the next person that
So
I can help.
with that in mind, let's. I want to ask you an interesting question.
Sure.
So, let's say you can step into a time machine, you yourself right now, and just pop into a room real quick with you back when you're in the hospital.
Yeah.
What would you tell yourself back then?
Snap out of it. It could be worse. You could be dead. You could be where Mark is right now. Unfortunately, it was his time. What are you gonna do? But snap out of it. Live your life. Don't forget him, and do what you have to do. Try to help people on the way, and don't forget.
If you had to give them some kind of, give yourself some kind of hope, what would you say to yourself? Like now that you know everything you know.
It'll get better. I mean, it can't really get possibly worse. It'll get better. Um, Try to be happy. Try. You know, I mean, again, you know, can't be 100%, but I'm content. You know, I made it this far. I have a niece and nephew. My parents are still alive. My brother's here. He's married. Um, you know, a lot of my good friends are still here, and they have children. So it's good to see that how they progressed in life also because they weren't too different from me. So, you know, it's nice to see that. But I would tell myself, listen, bro, snap out of it. Um, you can be at home popping pills and drinking and killing yourself slowly, or you can snap out of it and do something positive with your life because it's not over. There's people that have been through much worse in life than you that have made it, or are married and have children, or have a stable career. There's no reason why you can't. And you've been left with a voice, your brain, your mind, and some reasoning skills. So, sky's the limit. And there's people in this world with two hands and two legs that are just dipshits. They don't know anything. So, there's no excuse.
Would you say would you say that you're happy now?
I'm happy. I'm content. I mean, you know, I can't be 100% happy because that anger keeps me going. You know, that anger that just drives me. Am I going to be 100% happy? I don't know, man. I mean, I'm okay. I made it this far in life. It makes no absolutely no sense to go crazy now and flip out. So that's my view on that. But, you know, I'm okay. I'm okay. I mean, am I going to be 100% happy? Am I going to be 100%? No. That's the reality of it. You know, I'm not about sugarcoating things and stuff like that. This is my reality. I've dealt with it. I made it over about 20 years now like this. So I can make it another 20 more.
So
You know?
what would you say is like your goal to get to that 99% happiness? Like what would do that for you?
Finding a woman, settling down, maybe having some kids, um, and getting to that law profession in some respect, whether it be law or something within that field with whatever my background is that I picked up to now.
So what would you want to do with that law profession?
I would like to help people like me in some respect, whether it be on a counseling level, um, because I have, you know, I'm in the IT background, business background, healthcare background. With a legal background, it'll be just the cherry on top, where I can be an advocate for them in some respect. And not only that, more importantly, my parents. They're getting older. Um, you know, I'd be able to help them and advocate for them, which is more important because they've achieved their American dream. They came to this country with nothing, like I'm sure a lot of people did or have, and they made it this far in life, and they're a success story. They weren't selfish in any respect. They brought their family here, and now they're here with their family, repeating the process. So um, I want to be there to help them in some way, because when it's their time to go or leave this earth, you know, I want to. I think with whatever I picked up and learned and experiences, I think can help them. And now that I have a niece and nephew, you know, I want to be around for them and make sure they go on the right track. Um, you know, I understand, you know, as people grow and stuff, they get a little crazy, especially when hormones and stuff like that are involved. But if I'm there to at least lead them in the right direction, not, you know, force them and tell them what to do, but if I can lead them in the right direction and open their minds up, that's all it's about. That's what it's about. You know, you can either do this or you can do that. But how about we do this? You know why? Because let's break it down. So that's what it's about, I think.
Yeah, man. So is there anything that you want to tell people who are struggling right now? Like anybody out there who's struggling right now, maybe someone who's like going through something similar, where they're like on the edge.
I would just tell them, listen, there's no one in this world that can help you except yourself. You can get help from counselors and stuff like that, but in the end, it falls on you. Um, the beauty of it is we're in a country where a lot of things are available to us. We're in the internet age. You can find that info. And unfortunately, it's not thrown in your lap a lot of the time. You know, what if you're poor? You know, what if you're from a different socioeconomic background? Whether you're rich or poor, and it doesn't matter. You know, we all need help. Um, you know, nothing's guaranteed in life. All I can say is you have to figure it out and help yourself. And there's people out there to help you. And, you know, instead of using a scapegoat, you know, in terms of popping pills, drinking, and stuff like that, you know, we may have to just think, sit in a dark room, close your eyes and think. Or you can get a notepad and write down what you want to do, where you see yourself in the next couple of years, and how you're going to get there, and what can you do to get yourself there. And that's all I can say. And the thing is, you know, don't forget, there's always somebody there that cares. You know, it doesn't have to be love, but someone that says hi to you, talks to you. You know, those are people that genuinely care about your well-being. So, you know, reach out to somebody, because there's a lot of people suffering in this world, you know, with their limbs and without their limbs. And, you know, you had to snap out of it in some respect. I mean, other than that, it takes time. That's another thing. You have to be patient. It took me almost 15 years to get to where I am, to completely snap out of it and be where I have to be. I've accepted it from day one. However, in the back of my mind, you know, you always have to, it's a chess match with your brain in some respect, you know, but in the end, it's me that's going to always win. I can't let my mind take over or my feelings take over. You know, that's why it all falls on you, you know, from the beginning, and how you want to approach certain things. And that's the beauty of it. You know, anyone can do it. Anyone can do it. It's just on how much effort and work you want to put into it. And, you know, it's emotionally draining. It can be for some. But you have to also remember, you know, what about your folks? You know, how do you think they feel? How do you think your friends feel when they see you in a certain situation? Or, you know, so it's not about you all the time also. You know, you have siblings that care about you, that pray for you, that cried for you. So just giving up, you're giving up on them also. So that's how I see it. So like the way I see it, if I gave up all those prayers, all those tears that were shed for me, that's down the toilet. You know, why would I do that? You know, there was so much love and effort put in sustaining my life and help me try to put a smile on my face. You know, why would I do that? And, you know, even before living like this, what about the good times before this? So it's the memories, past and present. That's what I think of. And I would just say, for anyone struggling, it's momentary, and it's on you. Do you want to struggle for the rest of your life, or do you want to snap out of it, or you know, try to see things a little bit more clearer? Maybe you got to talk to someone, and the only one to really reach out to is a professional, or deal with it yourself in some respect, or a family member. You know, I did most of it by myself, because I really didn't have too many people to talk to and share my feelings, because I'm a very introverted person. I keep my feelings to myself. Um, but you guys, eventually, you'll figure it out. It might take some time for some a little quicker. It took me some time because, again, I was on my own to do all this, and you know, my parents are working. They're trying to raise my brother. They have a whole other set of issues other than me. So in the end, you know, you have to figure out the solution in some way. And
Do you think you would have gotten to this place quicker if you had someone like you in your life early on?
I do.
Or do you
I think so, because they could have let me know. whether it be in a hard way or a nice soft way, doesn't matter. Like, listen, motherfuckers, shake it off. This shit happens every day. You think you're the only fucking guy to go through this shit? There's people going through worse. Okay, you can talk. You can at least think you have one hand. All right, it's like 80% functional, but at least it's at least 80% functional. You figured out how to write. What's the fucking problem? You know, you still have your family. You academically achieved all this when you were written off from the beginning. You were fucking laughed at. Oh, you want to go to fucking college now at 25, 26? Like, yeah, why not? So again, it's not about proving anybody wrong. It's about proving it to yourself, and it can be done.
It's never too late.
Never too late to learn. It's always good. And again, I think also might be reversing the aging process. Putting all this info in my head and reading up on it more, further, I think is just helping me because it helps me articulate better to other people.
So, lastly, all the struggle and stuff you went through, everything, do you think it's been worth it?
There's a reason and purpose for everything in life, I think. I mean, it is worth it. You're sitting in front of me. So, if this didn't happen, I wouldn't have met you guys. So, in some respect, yes, I think it is. I mean, I would definitely like to be a different type of setting, physical aspect, but
was it worth it to persist?
yes, yeah, absolutely, because I'd have to catch up that much more then. I'm already, if I went to school a little earlier, I would have been a lawyer by now. So I kind of look at that, but at the same time, I'm happy with my progression and the amount of time it took, because at this age or at a certain age, your thinking is a little bit different. It's like I'm not caught up with the world and the bullshit in the world and who's doing what and who's wearing this and who's driving that. But now it's about me and figuring out where I had to go and what am I going to do to better my life and the life of others and my family and my prospective future family.
Yeah, you can basically, now you're in a different position than anyone else who's trying to get to law school. You have a different set of perspectives and a different skill set.
Right. Whether they're a lawyer or not doesn't matter. I mean, I have that experience, and being brought up first generation, I know what it's like to be a minority growing up in this country. I know what it's like to be an American to grow up in this country, and it's got its pros and cons, but I think more pros. And I think I can be more respected with what I say. I'm just not some degenerate jerk off coming off the street just talking shit who doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. At least I know what I'm talking about, and I know how to back it up. So that's how I see that.